Welcome to Movie Bitches.
Bitches. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, episode 4.
I have so much excitement for the country of Australia and New Zealand, and I truly love the people. I do not care for RuPaul's Drag Race much lately.
Down Under, at least, yeah.
I'm just gonna say in general, but Down Under's not helping.
I really liked
UK season 2. That was very good. Anyway, first things first.
Shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gets you early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing party.
Yes, our viewing party where you could see my reaction to Rue's Runway this week.
Mine too! Oh my god, I can't wait.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
What?
Wow.
Oh, I don't know. Huh?
We'll get there. We'll talk about it.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Second thing second, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Go to trywink.com/moviebitches. You get $22 off your first month of wine. Third
Shout
thing's
out
third,
to
I got
Rick.
yelled at.
Oh, you
Well,
got yelled at.
sure. But see, because you messed me up. Third thing's third. Make sure to subscribe.
Oh.
Share. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Rick. Rick Draws Things on Instagram. Shout out to him. Thank you. But I got yelled at for not doing share. So that one's for last week.
You gave him a double dose. Episode 4.
This was bad.
Oh, this was bad. I mean, I thought we had gone into Bizarro world, and I was like, have I lost my mind?
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
We've talked about gaslighting in the past, but I'm like, oh, we've gone beyond whatever gaslighting, whatever the term is for gaslighting to the point of I see through everything you're doing is, whatever
Transparent gaslighting.
whatever that is, I'm just like, oh no. I've
Delusion,
reached it.
I think,
I've
is
reached
what
it.
I don't even know.
Egomaniacal delusion, I think.
Sure.
Because it's her show and not ours.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Them's the facts. It didn't help. The thumbnail, the like randomly generated thumbnail on the service that we watch episodes on was
Right.
Art Simone
Had
doing
Art
her makeup.
Simone.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, that didn't help.
I mean, we had been spoiled. Someone had said, like, we talked about it last week, right? We were like,
Right.
oh, it's either Art Simone or Monique Hart. In all honesty, I would have preferred Monique Hart.
Absolutely.
But
Look,
I actually really like Art Simone, but still.
I really like Art Simone. They hate her because they are giving her the shadiest edit.
You think?
We're bringing you back because that's it. Like, so everyone
right.
is going to either resent her, think she doesn't deserve it, be mad at her. Like, they've put her in a position of being,
By bringing her back,
Right.
they said, oh, we fucked up. We shouldn't have gotten rid of you because you probably were going to win and you're like one of the top contestants
like,
and everyone else is boring.
How are we
I mean, that's
here?
not true.
How,
but like,
how has this happened? Like, I'm so confused. Like, so Coco, just fuck her drag. Like, what's happened?
Fuck my drag, right?
why now? Why this week? Why no explanation?
Why no? Well, you have a chance to get back in. I was confused. No, not even. I was confounded by this
Wow.
episode.
This episode was, more than anything for me, it was just frustrating. They spent so much time on Electra and Scarlett
And etc.
bickering and etc. Both, right, of them being little, kidney stones. And I just really wasn't here for it. I was like, this isn't fun. And it's
No.
not crazy dramatic that I'm like, ooh, get her, Jade. It's just like,
Right.
this is stupid. And then Rue being like, oh, so if you had advice for Electra, what would
Oh my
what
God.
the fuck was that?
That was so rude.
What advice would you have for Electra?
Anyway.
But anyway, I guess we should start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start.
I mean, this might be a quick episode.
Hey,
not gonna
maybe we
lie.
just kind of, do the basics because, wow. They come back
Wow.
in. Coco has left. I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, when they were all sitting around the table, I was like, God, this cast is white. And then they brought back Art Simone, and I was like, wow. It just is like, it was like real obvious. And I was like, okay, well,
I think it
not
doesn't
great.
help that et cetera, and Scarlett really do look very similar, particularly in drag. You're like,
Particularly in drag.
I cannot really tell them apart often. Very similar types and sizes and colors of people.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay. And I don't know what that says, about anything. Is that
Right.
a statement of the industry of drag in Australia and New Zealand, or is that a statement on this show? Unfortunately, I don't know enough. Maybe I
Right.
should go spend a month in Australia
Hey, I mean,
and find out.
wouldn't complain about that. A month in Australia, month in New Zealand, a month in
Yep.
Australia, another month in New Zealand. I mean, I'm here for it. Yes. we'll just keep bouncing back and forth.
Just to really, you have to double check, right? Just
to make sure.
Double check your work.
Just to make,
and make
you
sure
know,
that you've done a thorough
Spell check, read it out loud so you can make sure is you're hearing it right. That's a good one. So it was just like, I just noticed it. I was just like, oh, and then it was like, oh, and then it was like, oh.
Yeah.
A lot of Scarlett and etc. teaming up to bully Electra, just kind of seemingly like, I don't know. I was just like, you certainly have a lot of opinions.
Right.
Or they left them
Here's
all
the thing.
in. I don't know.
It was just a lot of Scarlett and etc. being like, oh, she doesn't have any style or taste.
Right.
and
Oh, I
she's
think
bad.
they told you that you
She's
don't have a
shit.
taste level. Jesus Christ, etc.
Their critiques kind of say that they don't think you have much of a taste level.
Fuck me. Jesus Christ, etc.
Right? What's frustrating is that I still don't understand the reads for Electra last week.
No. When Electra was like, I'm confused and mad, I was like, I am too, girl. I don't know.
So I get where she's coming from. And like, yes, I think that she has room for growth in terms of her looks. But also some of their reads are bad. And so then it muddies the message.
Yeah.
And I understand her confusion and frustration.
Yeah.
The queen's just being like, oh, well, you are tacky and I hate you, doesn't really help.
It was a lot of airtime. I was like, okay.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So anyway, they bicker for a while, and then, Ru comes in. It took them a long time to,
There was
get
like
all
a
themselves together.
intermediate sort of, words, gibbly, word salad, gobbledygook, insert shots, weird stuff. And then Ru came in. It was a weird, I was like, I don't know what that was just telling me.
I hate all of you now.
Whoa.
None of us are friends.
Channel that energy.
I think they had trouble corralling. Why y'all acting brand new? Is that they had to get the girls in place for Ru to walk
But then
in.
the magic of editing. Look, there they are.
Right. But anyway, Ru comes in and announces that there's no mini challenge, and the maxi challenge is to
Right,
take...
there
Now,
wasn't
here's-
even a mini challenge. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but wow, they wheel out, it looked like a wooden ship of sorts.
Sure.
The pit crew.
The pit crew, though.
That
nice.
was the highlight of the episode. They're obviously like, this is heavier than it should be because there's a person inside.
Right.
It was
right.
like, and they were like being extra careful, like, insurance.
Yeah.
Someone's a trap.
I mean, if she had come out and said, hallelujah,
No.
in like an Australian accent, I would have been here for it.
Maybe.
Hallelujah? I don't know. Something,
She just pops out with a hula hoop. And
There-
it's like, great. Oh, maybe. I don't know. This just seemed like literally it was like, boom, like the editing was like, and slow motion. Here she is. Oh my God. I mean, I know that the thumbnail spoiled this, but I was like, oh, why? Like that was my
literally was
reaction.
just like, why? I just kept saying, why? Not that I'm angry necessarily, but like, why?
It makes me mad at the show. Like, I'm like, if you're not going to care about the rules or building an actual season, I'm really having a hard time caring about this.
Yeah.
We brought her back
Well,
because
Ru says something later in the workroom of like, oh, we all thought you were so clever and quick and witty, but you didn't bring any of that to Snatch Game.
we know that
I mean,
you
I didn't
can.
think that she should have been in the
I
bottom
also,
for
I don't
Snatch
think she
Game.
should have been sent home. But again, what is happening to production?
Right. Yeah.
And what, I like Kid Amin, but what's going on? Like, what has happened, though?
Thank you. And in all honesty, Karen from Finance, too.
In all honesty,
hasn't
Karen
been
from
bringing
Finance.
it. And no one's been willing to say it, I guess, until this week. But I'm like, what?
Last week, I was like, Actually, you know who my shining light was this episode? Maxie Shields.
Anita Wiglet.
Well, yes,
Oh, yes.
obviously.
I
But
do like Maxie a lot.
Maxie's
Yeah.
really fun as well. It seems like every time I pick a favorite, they send them home. And so I'm having a hard time. So I'm like, oh, Maxie's not my favorite. I don't like her at all. She's not the most fun person left on the season, and her drag is bad. Like, I'm like, shh. When she was like,
I'm not a sewer, but I got onto RuPaul's Drag Race, so I took fucking lessons. Because I'm not an absolute idiot.
And you know what? She killed it. I
killed
forgot,
it.
actually, in the end, that she had said that she, like, I mean, those lessons paid off, girl.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess for me, the frustrating thing about the production, again, and then I think I'm mostly done.
Probably
is-
not, but, you know, we can
Probably
hope.
not. The challenge was bad.
Well, what was the
materials that
challenge?
Thank you.
Honestly, you know, here's a bunch of garbage we got at the dollar store, or whatever the Australian equivalent of the dollar store is. Make an outfit. Like, there was no theme. There was no. I guess it was like trash to treasure, but what does that mean?
Sure. And I guess more importantly, the materials that were given, none of them seemed particularly trashy.
Well, and here's my
Or-
thing. If you're going to read them for using, we've seen this material used before. Stop giving them
Then
those
don't
materials.
give them fucking books and
Stop giving them beach balls and fucking those laundry tote things that Maxie used. Then stop giving them the same materials. What are we
Thank you.
doing?
that was my thing. It's like if I see one more fucking IKEA bag and Ru says, but there's no stretch in that fabric, and then they make a perfectly tailored outfit.
Davina
that
De
looks
Campbell.
great. And no, who was this? Davina was season 1. Who was season 2?
That
just
did those
like
bags?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
the
you'll have to
blue-
describe it to me because I'm...
It was blue and orange, and it was Lawrence Chaney. And she made like a
Yeah.
really great proportionizing out of the same fucking
Yes.
material. So it's just like, Jesus Christ, how many times are we going to see this?
But they didn't
anyway,
tell Maxie, we've seen these bags so many times before.
Right. And there's no stretch in them, but you really tailored it well and you made it look great. And we didn't think that that was possible, even though we've seen that 5 times before. That's all. That's all I'm saying is that it's like, pick different fucking materials.
Yes.
Give them colored pencils and they all have to figure it out. I don't know.
Give them
But, like-
all like the same muslin base in their size, and they have to paint it or they have to do something.
Something.
Then we're in the workroom and there was more bickering.
It was
Something
just a lot of
happened.
negativity, a lot of, I guess, just dislike, between them. I mean, I thought it was funny when Maxie was like,
There we go.
Is it working? Yeah, stunning.
See, Scarlett's lovely. She just must not like you, Electra.
oh, see, Scarlett is nice. She just doesn't like you.
I love Maxie. What can I say? I mean, I don't.
Right?
I don't like her.
Oh,
Don't
no.
kick her off next, please. Dear God, please.
I really hope she doesn't win a challenge.
I really hope she's in the bottom next week. Now we've gone over to crossed over even to we're tempting fate.
Oh my God, he's like Nostradamus.
Well, and then the whole. I mean, I do like Art. I think
Yes.
she's really fun. I'm just still going, what? I'm pissed off
Right.
at production more than Art.
Exactly.
But the
Absolutely.
whole so there was a note.
We found a note at Coco's station.
did? Bro, there's no footage of me putting that note there whatsoever. It was a ghost.
I was confused. Scarlett comes up to Electra and is like, hey, can I use these white panties? And I was like, was that in the dumpster? Like,
Right?
They were real tall boys.
They were like granny panty, whatever.
So
Yeah.
I was like, At first, I thought she was asking to borrow Electra's undergarments. And then I was like, wait,
Right.
was that in the, okay. But no,
And then-
you can't. I'll let you know in an hour if I'm using
I love that. She's never
those.
fucking getting those
Never
panties.
get those panties.
She's never getting those panties.
So, quick commercial break, and we'll be back with Ru coming in the workroom and some more, bickering drama and whatever, and then a runway. This is a quickie.
So Ru comes into the workroom and they talk to everyone.
Someone told me that you were in the Navy.
Yeah, I'm still in the Navy, yes.
Like the village people?
Absolutely like the village. We actually used to do a routine to in the Navy.
We find out that Anita is in the Navy and plays in
Yes.
the Navy band and plays the trumpet.
Trumpet?
It's like, yes, this all
Yeah.
makes sense in my fantasy for you. Yes.
Right? Absolutely. I love it.
I'm actually in the Navy band and I play the trumpet.
Oh boy, and then Karen is explaining to Ru this concept of Chappelle Corby?
Corby, I think.
Do you know Chappelle Corby?
Nope.
This was such a long walk, and
It just felt uninspired. If you're going to do this, that's fine, but make it fashion.
the second that she was explaining to someone, oh, I saw that boogie board and got inspired. No, girl.
Oh, no.
No.
I thought she was going to make
What?
something out of the boogie, like a fashion something. And I was like, huh? And it was like, oh,
I
no,
mean, I
listen,
guess you could cut it up, maybe.
Make
and
a
make
silhouette.
like shoulder pads and like a
Like-
corseted, like intense.
But it's just
I don't
like
know.
stuck on the front of you, and then you draw a dress on it, and then you turn around and it's just your bare ass. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, maybe if you like
It's just your
hourglass
bare
shape the
ass, but you
sides out
have
of
the
it.
giant weed cigarette coming out of your tush. Yes.
No. All of this is too much.
You're like,
the
boop, boop,
weed
boop,
thing.
boop, 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 and then you turn
was such a
around, and then
long
it's like a
walk.
big, and you're like, ooh, and it's like copper tone, and you're like, oh
No.
Would have been better than this. She focused on a character and didn't listen to the non-challenge that they were required to do.
Well, but to be fair, like Ru had the same conversation more or less with Electra
Yes.
about like Electra's like, oh, I'm gonna, I've lip
I've
synced
sent home
and
two Aussie queens, so I'm gonna be the
Be the
kangaroo,
kangaroo
hunter.
hunter.
I
It's
think
like,
I think people's outfits and responses were obvious that they were not given proper direction.
yes.
It was like, well, I don't know, you told me to make something out of this garbage, so I guess I'll try and create an idea or character or backstory,
Right.
something
Right.
to inspire me, because I don't know.
And I like that idea, and I feel
Yeah.
like we haven't really seen people do much of that before.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this was not it.
Well, she made the right choice in the long run, and actually,
Electra did.
Yes, I will talk
I-
about the results. We'll
Yeah.
talk about the results.
Yeah.
Ru is basically like, you just need to figure out how to style yourself, because you're terrible.
Do you ever just do glamour gowns and things like that?
I would love to.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
A monkey could style Nicole Kidman.
Gay gasp. Yeah. I was like, what?
Oh, I'm so glad they have that on file. How fun.
Sure.
But also rude. Ru was coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
Yeah.
Ru does not like Electra. Period.
No.
It's pretty obvious.
I don't care for Joe.
No.
And Ru seems to be obsessed with Scarlett.
Oh, yes. I mean, I don't think Scarlett is untalented. I can't deny that she is talented.
Yeah.
I think she's, a mean-spirited kidney stone that is also problematic in other areas.
On the note of her problematicness, I do feel like we should say a couple things. First off, I would like to apologize for using the clip from We Can Be Heroes. I forget exactly what the Chris Lilly clip was.
Oh, from Summer
I
High
didn't
Tide.
even process it. And this is not an excuse. I didn't even really process that he was
Right.
in blackface as a Maori kid, and that's not okay. And
Right.
it's unacceptable. So, won't be using that clip again. Scarlett's behavior, though in the past, how old is Scarlett? I don't think it could be that long ago that she was doing these numbers in drag?
I don't know. I mean, it's not, I don't want to be the social police. I don't approve of what she did. You know, if she apologized, I hope it's authentic. And we haven't really talked about Karen from finance.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up.
With her tattoo and everything, and the doll collection. You know, she has said that she literally threw the dolls in a landfill and had the tattoo removed and apologized for being like ignorant and all of this stuff. And so I do think that there is a place to forgive people and let them grow and evolve and all of the above. And we don't need to just say, write you off completely. You know, time will tell. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. I think that's the only way forward is to have a conversation about it.
Yes.
And hopefully, like you said, their apologies are sincere, and we will see in the time going forward if
their
that
actions
is true or not.
reflect that.
Exactly.
Ru is talking to everybody, and then it's time for Scarlett, and she's like, "Oh, I make costumes all the time," and this shade of Ru saying, "Well, you know, you really led your group properly last week, and Electra didn't at all. What advice would you give to Electra while she's in the room?" Like, this was so unhelpful. I don't know. Like, it's not like they were having a round table or something. You know, it's like, oh, I hope Electra overhears this shade that I'm stirring as this impartial judge that's supposed to. Fuck you. No, I don't care for this at all. But I did love the insane music cue choices that were happening.
20 times for me. And I felt like a lot.
I thought I was on the Indiana Jones ride. Like, I didn't know what was going on. It was insane. It was utter madness.
Utter madness.
And I was pretty here for it. But it went on for so long.
Scarlett? Yes, darling? I do have to defend myself.
It was like as if they didn't trust that the shade and the drama was enough on its own. They had to add like a John Williams knockoff score to, I don't know. It's very strange. I was like, am I in the Cave of Wonders? Like, what's going on? It was very strange. Basically, Scarlett just says, like, doing the splits isn't dancing, or I don't know, something about. That's not all dancing.
Right, there's more to performing than just doing the splits, which is so reductive and rude, but, you know.
I did love Electra's clapback of, like, I've backup danced for J-Lo, for Jessie J, there was another one that was.
I've danced for Sia, I've danced for Jessie J.
Oh, you backup dance for some people? That's cute.
I love that she's like, oh, so you backup dance for someone, and it's like, I'm sorry. Sia probably most famously has elevated dancers to a huge national, international level of fame. So I think you can fully go fuck off. But, you know, also that's so
you have
rude
a paying
and dismissive
job
of
with a
backup
professional.
dancers. Right. Exactly. Oh, you performed and toured whatever with huge international superstar performers. You think that's important? Like, what? What are we doing? Fuck off.
But did anyone have a crush on Buzz Lightyear?
Oh my god! I love there's just crickets. Everyone's just like,
no, how? Oh.
Did anyone have a crush on Buzz Lightyear when they were younger? Anyone?
I'm gonna miss Anita.
I really am. Anita brought so much joy and light. I feel like the production doesn't value that.
No.
They seem to be kicking off everyone that's fun and cheerful and lovely.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, let's focus on this angry drama.
We need the drama.
Between two people that don't like each other or respect each other. And isn't that fun? And I'm like, no. It's exhausting. So they're getting ready for the runway. And I thought this was really well said, et cetera, et cetera. Has you know, they had a little bit of like a clunky lead in of like, oh, so does anyone have, you know, issues with
you kind of get
little of that.
They want you to be in drag all the time.
Yeah, right. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
Now that you mention it, I mean, yeah, but
exactly.
Anyway.
It was a little of that, but I thought that et cetera had a great.
I use the gender marker non-binary because it's the closest to what describes how I feel.
It was all very concise and clear and well said. In drag, it's like, you know, yes, she, her is fine and all that's great and like it's drag and whatever. but out of drag, don't call me he because I'm not a man.
Right.
But I also didn't want to transition to a woman. I'm non-binary. And yes, that exists.
Right.
And it was interesting, that kind of conversation reminded me of, and maybe still we're there today, but like of the conversation of like bisexuality
right
10 to 15 years ago of like, oh, it's just a stop on the gay train, you know, it was like, no, it's also real.
I never heard that.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. The people would be like, oh, you're not bi, you're just taking a stop on the gay train. And it's like, or also bisexuality exists.
Right,
but,
right.
you know,
well,
it was
talking
the same
about
kind of thing.
gray areas and in between places and how that's indefinable into
Yes.
how our society works, and therefore is very difficult to explain to people, or it's confusing, or they want you to just pick one, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so it was a very lovely conversation, and I felt like etc. talked about the process. Oh, I was kind of, and then I went, and then I didn't know, and I was trying to figure it out, and I'm still on the road, and this is, you know, how I feel now. You know, it was good.
Yeah. And then they had another weird Revolution commercial.
Right.
And then it was the runway.
And there you go.
Speaking of commercials, quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with the runway. Category is trash to treasure?
Did Ru even say it?
This week we challenged our queens to recycle up-shop droppings and turn them into high-fashion frockery.
I don't know.
She probably did, but I was in a state of shock by Art's fuchsia makeup. It was the last thing we saw, and I went, oh!
Anyway, quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Ru walks down the runway in this crimped Jamaican flag color guard outfit. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It was something. It was kind of like her cupcake dress 2 weeks ago, but in a Jamaican flag print. But then had the calf, the reverse knee-high. I don't know what are those? I mean, I've seen them
I don't
sometimes,
know.
but it's like a, you know, to protect the horse's shins or something. I didn't know what this was.
This was maybe, I think, one of the worst looks I've ever seen Ru in.
Well, I think we've seen worse constructed looks, messier looks, but I did not care for this at all aesthetically. No. Aesthetically, this was one of the worst looks we've ever seen from Ru.
Oh, wow.
No.
What? Wow. Oh, I don't know. Huh?
But it wasn't like, you know, poorly made, I wouldn't say.
Sure.
I'm trying to be constructive here.
Yeah. I think for me, what was really hard about this episode as well and the judging was that Ru was authoritative. I mean, obviously it's RuPaul, but like Ru's sitting here talking about style. And I'm like, look at what the fuck you're wearing. What are we talking about?
Well, also, if we're only going on runway and style, that's so individual or whatever. You know what I mean? That's such a personal taste. Subjective.
Yeah.
So. I
did not care for this episode.
No.
But
first down the runway, Art Simone in another Marie Antoinette. I mean, I can't. What has happened? What has happened?
This one was actually Marie Antoinette?
This one, yes, but...
I said it was like Angeline did Marie Antoinette.
Sure. Yes, because it was slutty, slutty, slutty. I liked the wig. That was it. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I did not care for this. It was a little mini skirt and put some peignets on it. And
she styled it up a little bit with like the silly house that she, you know.
I think she should have been safe. They praised her like no one's business. And I was like, what?
I think they were overcompensating.
I think I'm harsher on it because they were so praising of it that I was like, no, this is not, this isn't right.
So the next was Ketamine in this, you know, McDonald's playpen ball outfit with an umbrella on top. And, you know, I kind of have to agree with et cetera, on this one. I did not get it.
Oh, no. I mean, I did sort of like the Fascinator with like the stupid umbrella hat.
It was silly.
But on a whole, no. We've seen this before.
It had these like black zip ties
That's how
holding
she
them all
attached
together?
the balls, yeah.
Yeah, and
Maybe
that
spray
looked...
paint. If she had spray painted them a different color completely,
Ooh!
you know?
Yeah.
And then it would have
the
been
whole
like,
thing
what
is
are those?
spray painted ombre,
Yeah.
silver to gold, or
Something.
whatever the fuck.
But it was
Yeah.
so, those ball pit colors that it was like, oh, this was bottom for me. I'll be honest.
Absolutely. I thought so too. I thought this was bottom 3, hands down. What was frustrating for me about it too was that like they read other people for construction, and I'm like, but this looks shoddily constructed as well. Like this doesn't look well tailored or refined or anything. So,
well, speaking of, next down the runway, et cetera, who they decided that they hated for reasons that escape me.
I mean, it was a little boring, but I thought it was elegant enough and had a concept.
I thought that she looked gorgeous. She looked like Jessica Harper in Pennies from Heaven with this like real permed, 20s hair. I got the sun goddess, headband. I got the whole thing. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I know what you're doing. This lilac palette, I thought it was really pretty. Maybe not the most, out of the box, but who was really? I was really confused why they decided they hated this.
The bottom was too basic?
I mean, it was a piece of fabric, but like it was put together in a way that was nice. And I thought she had a concept. And I was confused because they were like, we didn't get it at all. We have no idea what you're talking about. But then later, Michelle was like, well, in this era, they would have painted the whole body, not just the face. I was like, you just said you had no idea what she was doing. Get out of town. Shoot. I can't with this.
Your Moira Rose was great.
It was so good. We've looked at pictures now and have very strong opinions about it. Okay. They were way harsh on this, and I was like, whoa, I thought she looked pretty, and it was nice, and it was a fun concept, I thought, and a historical reference that I haven't seen a ton of times. Like, do I need to see another Marie Antoinette? No, I'm good.
No.
Is this sort of like weird Christopher Strong, sun goddess,
Great
20s, Gatsby, thing going on that, she made? Yeah, I was kind of into it.
I went back and forth. I don't know, when it was the bottom 3 that they presented us with, at some point I was kind of like, you know what? Maybe just put Etc. and Karen in the bottom 2.
Well, I said that too, but that was mainly for my love of Anita.
I couldn't tell. What I really liked about Anita's was that, like, visually it was kind of telling me more. There was more of like a
story.
I mean, they both had concepts, but I don't know. I also couldn't see, we'll get to Anita's, I guess, but like I couldn't see the shoddy craftsmanship that RuPaul was referring to.
I didn't see it at all.
It didn't read on television, so I don't know.
Right. Well, I wouldn't have put either of them in the bottom. I think I would have put Karen and Kidda in the bottom. So, but anyway, next on the runway, Maxie Shield in this Vivienne Westwood punk 2-piece, sort of like Vivienne Westwood at the boardroom, business skirt but crop top. The styling made this. She had spray painted just the right amount of stuff. Her tattoos naturally worked with it. Like the makeup was fun. The hair was crazy. I was into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was really into it.
Ru was like, those shoes are perfect. And I was like, I don't know about that, but okay.
Yeah, that was such an odd thing to me of like, oh, this is the styling. That's what really did it. I was like, is that the shoes? What if they had like Doc Marten high heels? Yes.
Or like a denim colored heel. Something would have been more interesting or taken some of the... But they had like little flowery satin. The shoes for me were like, I was like, no, that's kind of a no, but okay, whatever.
At the series.
Close up on the shoes.
Right? Oh,
maybe we should have pointed those out.
Not really.
Now that you've mentioned it, I don't know about that.
Oh boy, so the next is Karen from Finance, and I hated this. I just thought she looked like Dora the Explorer and Betty Page.
I didn't hate it. It completely missed the mark for whatever challenge they decided this was. Like I didn't
it was a costume.
It was very costume. I didn't like it, but I wouldn't say hated it. But she's in like a stretch.
Did I say
skirt.
hate? That's harsh,
you
but
said
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I did not care for this. I thought it highly missed the mark.
It's just like a stripy stretch tube skirt with like a white top and bangs.
I mean, she definitely, I thought the makeup and the hair looked like she was Karen from Finance.
Yeah, it was like, it's Karen from Finance, smuggling drugs into Bali. Yeah, I got it.
Right, going on vacation.
It was
and
on
she was
brand,
like,
off challenge.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We're making a whole story. She's like, I'm going to save money and bring a boogie board so I don't have to rent one.
Of
But I'm not
course.
going to pay the check bag fee, so I have to
No.
carry it on my backpack. You know, it was like a whole thing. But
my
that
support
didn't,
animal, my support animal boogie board. I can't.
Right.
I can't leave home without it.
I have to have it with me. Yeah. But in terms of like transforming any of the materials, didn't see it.
Yeah.
Didn't see much fashion or really translation of anything. It was like, oh, you made a skirt and
You made
then
an
you wore a
outfit.
shirt.
Like you made clothes for an outfit. You didn't make.
I don't even know. I mean, maybe, yeah.
Anyway, next on the runway, Electra Shock, and I loved this. I mean, have I seen something made out of ties before? Yes, but did I love it then? Yes. Do I love it now? Yes.
Yes.
The lines were well drawn.
Yes.
She made it real slinky. I like that the boobs were sort of hounds. It was almost like houndstooth and plaid or something. It was subtle.
It was too subtle for me at first.
Did you think it
because
was
when
just
she was
tits?
walking down, I thought it was nude, and I was like, oh, I don't care for the left tit. And then I was like, I don't know if I care for the right tit. And then when I saw them close up, and I was like, oh, they're patterns. I think maybe it was just, I needed it in 4K. I don't know.
Right.
Once I saw it closer, I was cool with it. From far away, it looked like it was a nude illusion
gone wrong.
Teat, and I was confused. Yeah.
I did love her Julianne Moore in a single man hair into it. Also, when is I almost said Tom Hardy. When is Tom Ford coming out with his next movie? I want to watch it.
I do too. An auteur that I appreciate.
For all the things that Nocturnal Animals was, I mean, I'm never going to forget it.
Never, ever going to forget it.
I'm sick of movies that are forgettable. Like, give me something that is like, what? Any day.
Shadow in the Cloud.
Shadow in the Cloud. Not going to forget that movie. Oh my God.
Anyway, next up, Anita Wiglet. And I liked this probably more than I should have. But,
She sold it. This like Fahrenheit 451 goddess? Into it. I don't know. I'm into it.
I don't quite, when you really break it down, you're like, okay, what do the VHS tapes have to do with the books and she's a media.
It was
but
media.
They're burning, but it was burning of media.
Maybe if she'd had like red or red wig, maybe that would have been too much. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I thought she sold it, and I thought it was not the worst thing.
Actually, and what Brian and I thought that she could have done with her hair, if she had like a little like RKO radio tower on her, like fascinator, like right? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes. Yeah. Then we've got 3 types of media. Last down the runway, Scarlett Adams, and I was worried. I was like, oh, another gingham picnic. Like we've seen this, from Manila, and I feel like probably some other time we've seen it too.
Definitely.
And I was like, oh, and then she turned that corner and I went, oh, bike shorts. Wow, was not expecting that. Fun.
I loved the shorts.
Yeah.
I have to, they were great.
Yeah.
The shorts were great.
It fit impeccably. I wouldn't say the concept was particularly fresh, but the silhouette and what she did with it, the styling was all, she had the biggest basket I've ever seen. It was completely impractical for a picnic. She brought her own picnic table to the picnic. But no, this was very well done. And she wins. Spoiler.
Right. I was kind of bummed. I would have given it to Maxie, I think, particularly because the growth story was there of like, ooh, we gave you feedback. You incorporated that feedback and nailed it. You look great. You did well. Congratulations. But no. But she was in the top, so that's great for her.
Right. But I would have put Electra in the top with them. And I would have too. Probably would have said Art and etc. were safe, and probably would have put Kidda and I liked Anita's more than Art's, so I probably would have put Anita and etc. safe, and this is so boring, who cares, and Art and Karen and Kidda in the bottom, and then I probably would have put Kidda and Karen in the bottom.
And then I probably would have sent, I don't know, we'd have to see.
Would have depended on the lip sync, which, wow. Okay, so then Anita and Karen are in the bottom and they have to lip sync. So now we get Danny Minogue.
That's what I said. Now can we get Danny Minogue? But also I thought that this lip sync was a bad choice.
Well, okay, I don't know if I've ever heard a Danny Minogue song I'm gonna put that out there.
You haven't heard this song?
No. Or any others by Danny Minogue.
Okay, great.
That's not my area. Pop music is that's not if I'm on your bar, trivia team, it's not really my, unless it's pop music of the 40s, you shouldn't ask me about it. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I had nothing to compare it to, but I was definitely like, this song seems like not a great lip sync song.
Horrible choice for a lip sync song.
Okay, great.
It's so repetitive. This is like a club song, I feel
And
like, where
there's
you're just
no
dancing and bopping.
build. Like, and that's how the lip sync felt. It was like, I'm dancing.
Oh, it's the same 4 lyrics over and over and over again. Now I'm going to do the same silly dance move again.
There was a lot of charades.
Honestly,
there was a lot of, I'm crazy. What time is it? Let's call you on the phone. And I'm running down the street and we're doing the swim. It was a lot of that. Anita was doing more, I thought, with her face.
But then I think she was doing too much with her face when Ru really dislikes that. So I was like, oh, she's not going to win.
But what are you supposed to do with this song?
That's where I really was like, oh no, this was a mistake. First of all, it should have been a Kylie song. Second of all, it should have been one from her like disco album or something fun where there's like things going on and things moving and you can, you don't want a club bop. That's boring. That's always going to be a boring lip sync. It's going to be too repetitive, too boppy. You can't do much.
Can't tell
Even
a story.
Electra couldn't have done the splits to this,
Honestly, I was like, oh no, have they fabricated this entire thing to bring Art back but keep the episode count and send both of them home? I was like,
That's what I was thinking.
Like, oh no.
I also was just like, oh, so double elimination? Cool. I mean, I like you guys, but like this is a bad lip sync.
And then Karen stayed. I couldn't believe it also because Anita, above and beyond, won Snatch Game. Like, not even like, oh, she was kind of the best. Above and beyond won Snatch Game. Why are we taking the person who has probably had the highest high of the season and now they are going home, where we took someone who we sent home on that episode and now we've brought them back arbitrarily because that's what I was like, we're just moving, deck chairs.
Rearranging deck chairs.
Like, who cares at this point then? If you don't care and you're treating them like indistinguishable deck chairs, I don't care.
It's just also that, like, the judging this whole season has been wackadoo. Maybe they needed the extra guest judges to, like, bring some fresh perspective or something.
Oh, we didn't even talk about...
We didn't even talk about Els Karad, who was, like, this was so weird where Ru's like, oh...
You've got a new
Tell us about your movie.
Here is the plot.
Called Rurangi, and I play the lead, Kaz Davis, who is a young trans activist man who returns to his home after 10 years to reconnect with his father.
I love it. It's so inspiring. Great. Anyway.
It was really weird.
Gorgeous. It's powerful and funny.
It was odd.
It was odd. It was odd. That's all, I mean, he was nice and great. I don't know. It was maybe at this point they've had enough time to book guests from New Zealand that could make it.
That seemed, because next week there was also a guest that was like there.
Interesting.
So I guess they've caught up to it or whatever. But
they scrambled and figured it out. I don't know.
I'm wearing this for Electra's gown, and that's all I can say. Did not care for this episode, this judging, this outcome.
Wait, we didn't say. We didn't really talk about it. So Karen stays. Anita, she says sashay away. And I thought that Anita was so classy and fabulous. I know, but like it's just refreshing, when it's like such a night and day difference. Not, I mean, obviously it means nothing was iconic.
That means nothing.
But like so different to be like, thanks so much. I love all these queens. It was such an honor. This was so wonderful.
Life.
It has been such a pleasure to be here and to work with these amazing drag queens. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much.
I'm fabulous and I'm great. And
I'm just gonna mop this. And
is it too late for All Stars?
Take a little bit of mop this too. I love Anita Wiglet. I'm not gonna say who my favorites are because I fear for them. And
watch out, bitch.
We will see how it goes.
We'll see. Next week, what was the challenge?
Make a commercial or something?
That's right, make a commercial. And Michelle's horrifying eye makeup. She looked like Mimi M first with those little teeth mouth eyes. Awful. Awful. Anyway, cheers. We'll see you next week.
Instead of a smoky eye, it was a bloody eye.
A bloody eye. You know, just like a bloody eye.
Just like a bloody eye. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's gonna be kind of a really beautiful smoky eye.